There we go.
There we go.
Okay,
All right.
well, this is the SABR meeting of the games and simulations to talk about what we want to do in Chicago. Currently, we have 3 people in the meeting, the 2 chairs and Ken. Ken has just told us before we hit the record button that he doesn't see himself going to Chicago. So this may be a short meeting.
Well, I would say even if Ken isn't going to Chicago, we're open to suggestions for what we should try to bring to the table there as a committee, right? And hopefully get a couple more participants today. But even if not, we can kick some ideas around and open this up to the rest of the committee. We can share the video with them at least. We'll throw our suggestions out there and we'll see what sticks, right?
So to those watching, I'm not very entertaining, but anyway, we have a lead on a speaker, but we don't want to identify them yet. It is somebody who's been involved in the gaming community, design, and lives in the Midwest. I think that's about all we can say at this point.
Right.
And we've reached out to them and they're interested in coming. So there's that opportunity. There's been some talk, I know, of wanting to do some board and dice games, or we've had an offer for one of the games that has been presented to us in one of the earlier ones to do one off computers that people can join in while we're there and have a mini tournament either way. The thing is, to do that though, and I'm going to speak for Derek a little bit. He can correct me, but you know what? We want one of the other members to step forward to run that. We'll work for you to get some support and make sure we can have the rooms and stuff. But the board and dice games, I'm not familiar with them. So if that is something you guys want to do, let us know and that you'll take charge of it. I think it would be great because it would demonstrate to some people that have never played them. So, Derek, what's your thoughts?
I'm in agreement with what you said. I feel like it's a great opportunity for folks to see all of the different types of games that are out there, be it the tabletop, the card and dice. We have one of our committee members has agreed to bring some electronic handheld games out there. I can share a number of the different video games from either consoles or computers. So I feel like there's a really good opportunity to show off these different things and potentially get some people interested in playing some of those games that maybe haven't. Like, for example, even myself, I barely scratched the surface on the tabletop games as well. So if someone were to show me, sit down and show me like, okay, I'm going to run you through an inning or two of, you name the game, whether it be Strat or Replay or APBA or whatever it is. If somebody wants to show me that, I'll show them, okay, here's how you fire up the video games, and you can play a game that was created in 1982, on an emulator. These games, it's not like you have to have the physical hardware for a lot of this stuff anymore. So some of them, actually, there's a good deal of them prior to, let's say, 1999 or so, that you can run in a browser. So maybe it's not the game that you wouldn't be your game of choice, but you can at least go back and check out, Micro League Baseball or Earl Weaver Baseball or something. Some of the newer, the younger generation might not be familiar with. So I guess that's kind of the gist of the idea, is to, as far as displaying and or playing these games or showing folks how to play some of the games. I know with the card and dice, it's generally, maybe a 20-30 minute game. If you're showing somebody the instructions for the first time, well, maybe we don't have to play a full game. Let's just play an inning or two just to kind of get their feet wet. So that's my thoughts on that part of, what we can do in Chicago.
With regards to an exhibit, we're in a position to share a little bit here. We started to go down that with talking with Scott Carter. There's hotels are doing different things when you have conventions now and different charges. So we need to see what they're going to charge us to set up a table. I mean, I'm just amazed by that. But we need to see that. And if the cost is low, you just rent the room and they'll do whatever you want for you, then it's probably a go. If not, then we've got to look at other things, or I don't know, we'll figure it out. But this is your committee. We want to do things. I know there was at least one research submission, abstract submission that kind of falls in our area. I've not heard yet what has been there. I mean, we pretty much all here together. It's the one I sent in, actually. I'm not gonna lie that. So I mean, there is the option always, if it's not accepted there, I could present it there. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather present it to the group as a whole. Or in one of the ones where you've got options to go to 3 or 4. That's kind of my desire. Hopefully they'll tell me soon, because I still got some work to do on it. But I think that's one of the things that we need to overcome in SABR is if we're using simulations, and all the teams are, we know that or most of the teams, I guess we don't know for a fact it's all of them. I mean, most of them are using them. I mean, it is a form of research. It is not traditional research. And I think that's something that we need to try to overcome to get our brothers and sisters in SABR to understand that this is legitimate research. This is what companies are doing more and more. And I started writing an article. I don't know who I'd submit it to or anything. It was just on my mind. And quite frankly, thanks to SABR and SABR metrics, it's making the accountants relevant again for organizations, because this is where a lot of it goes. They can't all afford 30 guys like each ball team can to do the analytics. So it generally falls to the accountant. And I started writing an article. I don't think there's enough meat in there to send it anywhere. I was debating whether to send it to the CPA group or SABR, but I just don't think there's enough meat. Anyway, so there's those kind of things. Ken, what if you were coming?
Yeah.
What would you like to see?
This definitely a tabletop tournament. I'm not into the computer games. I've always played tabletop. I own quite a few of them. Haven't played all of them, but that was I acquired them over the years. I'm definitely a Stratomatic guy. I've been playing that since the mid 60s. But I think a tournament, or just even if you can't play a full game, 5-inning game or 7-inning game, just to get the people, because I'm sure, I don't see all of them, but the majority of people are probably familiar with, the big ones, APA and Stratomatic and replay games. And so I can't speak on the computer side of it, but I think the tabletop, you can pick up and go. You could start a game, and if somebody's at the table, they could play the one team, and then if somebody comes up, you can only roll the dice for an inning or 2 innings, just to kind of rekindle that love affair. I know I've had it. I'm retired 18 months, and I've started 1959 replay of usually Stratomatic. So it's one of those things, 30 years, life gets in the way. And that's what I would do. I think that would be great. Or if you can have some of the older games, I'm sure some of the guys have the real older ones, but to bring those out, it's a different story. Everybody's going to touch them and look at them.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's even with the old video games that I have, I have a number of the boxes and the manuals and stuff, and displaying it on a computer screen is one thing, and then having everybody, everybody's hands flipping through the manual and touching things, that's another.
Right.
you know, especially, you know, if it's an older board game or tabletop game, and
Yeah.
you know, if it's from the 60s or 70s, like you said, and then to have, you know, people to have it on display and to describe it to someone, but hey, you know, keep your hands off.
Yeah.
You know, don't
know,
touch the parts and pieces of it, you know.
yeah, it's
So
like a car
I
show.
get it.
It's like a car show, right? You ever go to
Right,
car
right.
shows and, you know, you can look
Right.
at it, but don't touch
Put it behind the glass, right?
it.
So,
I think that would be a good thing, because that,
Right.
you know, people are coming in and out. It's, you know, it's something,
yeah.
you know, just rekindle your childhood, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure,
something
I mean, we've
tangible
all,
that people can, you know, you get a visual and then people
Yeah.
can start talking about it. It's a good conversation starter, and
right.
you know, playing the actual game, like you said, you can, you know, you're just sitting there rolling the dice with somebody and marking down the results. So,
Yeah.
you know, whoever owns that item, you know, maybe they can photocopy the charts and things so they're not using their original stuff.
Right.
So I feel like something like that would be doable. Again, it's, can we secure a room and a time frame to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the room's the bigger issue, the time frame. I mean, I think there's a couple of nights there where you could, you know, yeah, you might go head to head against the trivia, but from what I've seen, the two conventions I've been, you know, not ever, I mean, very few people go to the trivia actually the first night because they know they suck, compared to the hard people. So I mean, it's something that can run. I think it'd be able to run kind of at the same time, but again, it's all going to be about rooms. As for the games itself, I'm sure there's enough people in Chicago to bring. I mean, if you're doing even a tournament of 16, I mean, what do you need, 8? So,
Right,
um,
right.
you know, I'm sure we can reach out and find them and do something. But again, photocopying, I mean, I don't know what's all in
Mhm.
there. I really, I really would like to see it. That being said, if it's in the evening, this team here is in Chicago, and I live in northern British Columbia. Everybody, I remind everybody of that every time I'm on. I'm going to see this team play.
Right, right. So you may not be, if we're having a tournament, you may not be available. I hear what you said.
I definitely would not be available. You know, yeah, I mean,
Even the all-star base, Ethan Allen, that's out of Chicago, originally produced in Chicago. Even that, you know, the old spinner one, which is
Right.
okay, you know, but I mean, that could throw a little bit of the Chicago flavor into it.
Right, right.
well, I think somebody would have to be the Black Sox team.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
I think
That's a good
somebody
point.
would just have to take that team. You know,
Yeah.
and if they were, and I was in the area, I'd come over and put $20 in their pocket in front of everybody. Say bribe. You know,
Yeah. Bring your set of loaded dice with you.
yeah. Yeah,
Right.
if I was playing them, I'd be saying, check those dice. But yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of fun history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's basically what we've come up with so far. None of it is in concrete yet, and obviously we're open to suggestions. Ken, just while we have a nice small group here, I would mention, you know, like you said, you're doing that 59 replay you just restarted. So one of the things I'm always trying to reach out for folks to write about their experiences with their replays.
Okay.
Not to put any pressure on you to do so, but there is a forum to do it through our SABR Baseball Gaming website that you can do a quick write-up. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but just, hey, you know, here's the, you know, and just to open it up to whoever watches this video. You know, if you're doing a replay and you want to share the results, that's a place to do it.
Yeah.
And we're
probably
getting
only
a
going
bunch
to
of
be
hit.
Oh,
I was
that's only going to be.
gonna-
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, mine's, it's only going to be it's supposed to be a 40 game, but we'll see. you know, it's try to find time. That's the killer part. I've been
Oh, you're
rolling the dice.
You're retired. You got 8 hours a day to play it.
That's what everybody says, but life gets in the way still.
You got to carve out that time, you know?
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I've been, you know, I just when you
So just
retire.
out of curiosity, what does it generally take you to one game and write down all the results and stuff?
About a half hour or so to get swing. You know, I'm playing Stratomatic, so it's you know, about a half hour.
Yep.
I don't play the super. I mean, if you're familiar with Stratomatic, there's 3 different levels. I play the advanced, but not the super advanced. I think it just slowed down the game too much. So
Okay.
that's what I've been using. I used to do that when I was in high school. I play a limited season, and when I retired, I just said, you know what, I'm going to get back into it. So I'm in the process of going through all my cards, which is from 1966 to the present. But it takes about a half hour or so to do the statistics and stuff. It's fun.
To do a 16-hour or 16-team
Yeah.
tournament, you need 4 sets of games going, or there's four levels, so probably about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
3. Oh, guess what? We got someone else coming. Or did he leave? I hit admit. Oh, there we go.
There's John. There he is.
Hey, John. Welcome. We got a giant group here tonight.
Yeah, we're going to try to get to all of your questions.
He looks, I saw him remute himself. He's obviously terrified. Oh, there he is. Oh, you got your mute button on. Oh, you know.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
So what we were saying is we may have a speaker. We don't want to throw it out there yet. We're in discussions with somebody. We have asked and we're waiting to hear back about setting up a table with old games and stuff that people can see. The issue is if the hotel charges us for every table they set up, and those charges aren't small. I was shocked when I heard, then it's probably a no, but if it's not an issue, then fine. Do we want to have a Stratomatic tournament, 16 teams? If we do, somebody's got to run it, because I have no idea, and we want to get other people involved.
Mm-hmm.
Are you coming?
Yeah, I'm kind of like undecided because my wife has to have hip replacement surgery in May, but she says it's like 6 weeks later, so she thinks that by then she'd be okay. I'm gonna close my video here because I'm shaking all over.
You got the shakes, do you?
Yeah, I don't know why that happens, but something with the camera.
Yeah, no
But
worries.
yeah, I'm in some Stratomatic leagues, and I also play. I'm in a league on MLB The Show also that I play.
Okay.
Video game.
Like on the video game?
Yes. There's
man, I play that and I suck.
Yeah, I do too. I
Like,
played my
real
first
bad.
3 games and I lost. I'm 0-3 so far.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids today, there's no way I could beat them, and I don't even try. The only time
Yeah.
I play against somebody live is when when there's a reward or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hey man, I give you a lot of credit because I really suck.
It's fun. I enjoy playing like the franchise version when I'm not playing somebody online. Then I have a better chance of winning.
Right.
I've got a Nintendo Switch, so this is only the second year I've been able to play it.
Mhm.
And I enjoy it. I mean, I read everybody complaining online. But you know, some of those moments and stuff, hit a home run. I mean, I could sit there for an hour and a half with the same guy trying to hit a home run and
Yeah,
it just
right.
don't happen.
Yeah,
But you know what? It's a great way for me to kill time. You know, and I enjoy it, and it keeps people out of my man cave. So
yeah, I know I haven't told May the 5th to do that early bird special. So, you know, I was looking at airline flights too, and right now I haven't really found anything. I think the last price I saw was like $457 for a flight
where are you coming from, John?
from New Jersey.
Okay. Well, my flight, and I booked it, was over $1,400. Now
Oh,
that's
wow.
Canadian money. That's Canadian money. So, you know,
Okay.
that's probably about $2 US. But yeah, I mean, where I live, I mean, I got to take, this one's not so bad. I only have to take 2 flights. Baltimore was 3. But
Mm.
yeah, I can go to Vancouver and then I go from Vancouver to Chicago. But yeah, I mean, flights are up all over the place because we need to go back to Ontario for a wedding in July. And right now I haven't booked it because it's over $1,000 a person.
Yeah, it's
So,
rough.
yeah. And of course, my dear mother thinks that when we come to Ontario, you know, well, all you got to pay for is your flight.
Right.
Nothing about a rental car, nothing about food, nothing about, you know.
I saw on the news this morning. It made me have second thoughts about actually going to Chicago with the rioting in downtown Chicago yesterday. Gunshots and everything else was going on. I'm like, you know, the police had to escort some of the tourists back to the hotel and everything. So that's something to think about too. But I mean, I do have my heart kind of like I definitely would like to come, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But if I did, I mean, I would like to be involved in something with the games. You know, maybe with the Stratomatic tournament or something like that, or yeah. I'd make myself
Oh,
available. I know the White Sox are home that week. I do like the White Sox, so I was going to try to get tickets for beside the Friday night game. I was going to get tickets for another game.
that's who they're playing.
Yeah, the Blue Jays. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going. It's
Okay.
non-negotiable.
Right.
I get
the
in on
Blue
the
Jays-
4th. I get in the 4th about 3:00, and I'm going to get tickets.
Mhm.
I want to see the rest of the agenda, but I will probably get tickets for the 5th and the 6th.
Right. I think I'm with you there. Yeah.
But I think if we're able to do Stratomatic, it'll probably have to be either the 6th or maybe the night of the. I don't think you want to go head to head against the trivia final.
No,
I don't think.
I'm not.
I don't
I'm
think
not
they'd
too
let
good
us.
with the trivia. I know.
No,
I get-
neither am I. But I don't think they want us to do that. So you know, we have to do some negotiation. But the big thing is, you know, if once they book the rooms and the tables are set up, if we can go in the evening, then it shouldn't be a problem. If we got to pay another fee for the room or pay for the tables, then I think it becomes an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Although my
we'll
understanding
we'll
is
figure
years-
something out.
Yeah.
Feel
My
like we can
understanding years ago,
figure it
they
out,
used to
yeah.
set up in the lobby and they'd set up just about anywhere in the hotels and play.
That's
Mhm.
what I was only able to drop in that one day in Baltimore, but there were a number of tables in that one lobby section that would have been adequate for doing something there, like as a worst case scenario. But I don't know, the layout of this hotel either. So
Yeah, I don't know either. And it all comes down to what they charge for different things.
We
Right.
did have a lot of vendors. There were a lot of vendors down in Baltimore. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people selling memorabilia and books and stuff. I know I picked up a book down there, and also I met this guy. One guy I met actually from Chicago. Another guy I was talking to was from Detroit, he was a vendor also. Yeah. So they did have a nice setup. They didn't have 2 rooms, I think, set up.
Yeah, yeah, and it was
Yeah.
similar to that in San Diego when I went. It was a nice big area. I came home with about 4 books that I haven't read yet. I got some stuff I haven't put out yet. You know, that's in 2 weeks when exams are done. I need to
Right.
I need to do some work here in my dungeon.
Mhm.
As my wife calls it, I call it a cave.
It's all semantics.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Okay, sounds like you're on the same kind of wavelength as we are.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
I
any
know,
some kind of tournament would be great. You know, we're never going to get it where everybody, you know, whatever game we select, somebody's going to be, well, I like this game better or whatever.
Better.
But I feel like it's
Right.
more of just of a, you know,
But then again, too, now, like if we're gonna do a Stratomatic tournament, right? With the cards and dice, right? It'd probably most likely be cards and dice.
right.
Does anybody have the 2022 cards and player cards and all that? Because I know I
Yeah.
don't. I don't have the 2022 version. I have it on the computer, but not the cards itself.
Right.
I
yeah,
have
Yeah,
I think
that's
we
where
gotta
we'd be.
figure that
That's where
out.
we'd be looking for somebody, one of our members, to, you know, to come forward and be willing to bring something. So that's what we got to.
Yeah,
We
you'd
got to
have to.
hash that out. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I think if you're gonna have a tournament, you tell everybody, okay, you know, because it's gonna be people that have played before. Bring
right.
your favorite team. Bring your favorite
There you
team.
go.
And you know, once it's claimed, then nobody else can claim it.
Right.
But like I was saying before, I mean, I'd love to see somebody bring the Black Sox,
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
you know, and
I
then,
have I have a sick. Right now, I'm actually playing. I'm just finishing up. It's taken me about about almost 3 years to do it. Playing the American League, National League, the 10 teams in each league, a 54 game schedule, and just finishing up like the last 54 games for each team. But it's taken me a while to do. But I keep the stats and everything down on the ball score and ball stat I have. So I record after each game, and yeah, I mean, it's fun. I like it. It's a hobby, you know.
man, you know, I love hearing this because then it makes me feel not such, you know, that there's other guys that nerd out like me.
John, this is Ken. I've been retired talking to the guys, and I started the 59 Stratomatic, plan on a 40 game league. So I just started it now, and I'm probably about 2 weeks in, and took me a while to get all, you know, to get back in the Excel, and I started, you know, so I use I tried ball stat and ball score, but I just had too much issues with it. And
Yeah.
so I found something else that was kind of nice, and then I modified it the way I want. But
Yeah, a
again,
lot of
you're
guys,
right. It's a hobby.
Sorry.
No, it's a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the guys I know, they use iScore. That's something you download, and they even have you could even they have the retro sheet involved with the iScore, so you could go back to any season you want, and they have all the players there.
Ah, I can write that
Yeah.
one down.
Yeah, iScore it's called. I think
Okay.
it costs you $20 for the season. But you know, you could keep score of, like, watch a game. They give you every night they give you the lineups for each game. Like if you want to score, say the White Sox and Phillies tonight, what you would do is they would have the lineups all set as soon, and you just go to the game and the lineups are right there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's keeps me off the streets.
Yeah, I bet that's a big concern, Ken. Well, I'm happy to see, I just called it up, even though we're here and it wasn't that I wasn't listening. But I'm glad to see my Blue Jays were able to get out of a first inning after the last two games
Mm.
without giving up anything. Oh, God. It's been horrible the last couple of games.
Yeah. I'm a Guardians fan from calling from Cleveland. We had a bad day in Detroit.
Did they lose the second game?
Yep, lost second game, 1-0.
Yeah, I was watching the first game. The Tigers won in the walk-off.
Yep,
Yeah.
bad day.
Every
Yeah,
day's a bad day in
my
Detroit.
cousin scored some tickets for a group of us to go into watch Otani and Trout against the Yankees on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been to the new stadium. I went many years to old Yankee Stadium, and when they
Oh.
tore it down, I don't know. I didn't have the same
The new stadium can't compare to the even the old, not the original,
mhm,
even the old Yankee Stadium. After they
Right.
renovated it, the old
Mhm.
stadium is, in my personal opinion, the old stadium is better than the new. Definitely.
right.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
was at the old one. It was a game. I was way up in the nosebleeds on a Sunday, which is fine. I mean, that's what you get when you're just going in. But I saw Minnesota, and the Yankees had one of their biggest comebacks ever and won it in the 10th. And it was like, God help me.
Mm.
Well, if it's Minnesota, I mean, the wins for them at Yankee Stadium
Oh.
have been few and far between lately. Anyway.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
other
this-
night they scored 11. I think it was the first inning. The Twins were beating them 9-0
Yeah.
the other night, and the Twins wound up winning that game 11-2. Yeah,
Yeah. Two home runs by Rizzo, and that was it. Right?
that was it. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was in 1999, showing my
Okay.
age. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like heights, and I was up kind of like in the second last row or something, got my 2 beers, and back when the kidneys and the bladder were much better, didn't have to go down until the end.
Right.
Yeah, the way things are now, you go to the concession stand, you're gonna miss 3 innings of the game.
Well, it's funny because I read somewhere they're talking about, closing down even earlier in some of the places because it's not much time. Whereas in Toronto, they're talking about extending it
Yeah,
past the 7th inning for a beer.
same thing with the Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers. They're
Yeah,
considering doing that.
they redid a whole bunch in the outfield and their outfield and everything. And, now it's all bars and stuff. And it looks kind of cool. I'm hoping when we go east to maybe get to a game, because I think they're home when we were there for that wedding. It's funny. My wife's firm is actually a big sponsor of the Jays. So she's a partner with an accounting firm. So I keep saying I'm going to call her boss, who's the managing partner, and say, I want tickets. Make it happen.
Right.
And the scary part is my wife knows I'll do it.
Sometimes you got to work those angles, though.
I want the box that night. I don't want the whole box. I just need 2 tickets.
Right.
My uncle worked for Keebler for a number of years, and he calls me up one day out of the blue, early October, and he goes, I've got a couple, the Keebler box. Nobody's going to today's game. It's a playoff game. You want to go? I called up a friend, got out of work early. We ran over to the stadium, and it turns out that was the day that Jeter hit that home run that the kid leaned over the fence and grabbed
Jeffrey
the ball.
Mayer.
Yeah,
Jeffrey
we were at
Mayer
that game.
game.
Yeah.
That
So-
kid
That
got
was
his
your
name
kid,
in
wasn't it?
baseball history.
It was your kid,
No,
wasn't it?
Wasn't my kid. No. No, I was young back there and single at the time, but yeah. But sometimes you plan a game a month, months in advance, and sometimes you you get lucky and you get a call like that. It's like, yeah, I'll take those tickets.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got lucky the one time. Young lady I worked with, she had mentioned she had tickets to go see the Jays in Oakland. And I said, oh man, I'd love to go with you. And then like the day before, she says, come into my office. She said, my husband's busy with an inventory count and he really doesn't like baseball. You drive down and you can come with me. I'm like, awesome. So we went down and that was Dave Stewart's no-hitter
Oh, wow.
against the Jays. And the thing is, we were sitting there and he walked the first two batters and I turned to her. I said, Diane, I said, this is going to be great for the Jays because Stewart has not been pitching well. And then he threw the no-hitter.
Yeah, never know.
You never know.
Mm.
That's why
Okay,
you play the game.
exactly. And on any given night, anybody can beat anybody.
That's the
But
truth. Yeah.
as good old Tommy Lasorda said, go 500 on the road and win every series at home and you'll be in the playoffs.
Yep.
I miss Tommy.
Yeah.
He was always good for a quote.
I was telling my father the other night, I miss having managers coming out and argue every once in a while,
I
now
agree.
it's just hold on and I'm going to put the
Yeah.
going to challenge something, but hardly ever do you see them come out and argue a call anymore, or at least they don't get that heated.
Right. Yeah.
Earl Weaver made a career out of it.
Yes, that's who I was just thinking of. Although I think one of the first game I can remember going to was a Yankee doubleheader, and Billy Martin was coaching, and we were hoping. It never happened. The Jays took both ends of that, and that was at the Mistake by the Lake, not the Rogers Center. So it was probably the early 80s. I could look up the date because that was the one that held the attendance record for the longest time. And it was a doubleheader and it was hot as stink.
Mm.
Oh, it was a hot afternoon. And the Jays won the first game in extra innings on top of it. So a doubleheader with extra innings.
Ohtani hit a 2-run homer off the Yankees tonight. I got the Yankee game on. The Angels are winning 4-2.
That's
I got
okay.
the
You just got to get to their bullpen. I'm an Angels fan, so just give it a few more innings.
uh-huh.
Well, I had a buddy who was sending me messages about the Leafs from the hockey standpoint, who my dad loves the Leafs, but they're already down 2-0 in the first game. And I love to tease my father who can't take it. And I'm like, Dad, Leafs haven't won in my lifetime. And I'm 55.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, shut up. Or other words that I won't use because we are recording this. Okay, guys, I don't think anyone else is coming.
Mm.
We have nothing exciting, I guess. I guess SABR 51 isn't a draw card for people to come talk.
Hey, and that's fine. If somebody wants to, check this out later and offer suggestions, that's fine too.
Yeah. Make sure you email Derek.
Yeah. Yeah. Or private message me or track me down somehow. Yes.
You can message me as well. I just like to tease Derek a little bit. Okay, guys. Well, you have a nice evening. Lots of good sports to watch on TV right now.
Yep.
Angels, Yankees, Jays, Astros, and hockey, if you enjoy that. Actually, New Jersey and the Rangers, that should be a good series.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, actually, Cavaliers are on tonight too in the playoffs. So my wife is watching that. So don't know what the score is.
I think our Canadian team's out of basketball this year now, so Raptors are done.
I used to be a New Jersey Nets fan, but now since they moved to Brooklyn, I used to go to the Meadowlands all the time to see the Nets. But once they moved out to Brooklyn, I'm not going to go out there. So
No, don't blame you.
Too
Don't
hard
blame
to get to from where I'm at.
you. Yeah, don't blame you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Okay,
Well, I think we'll call her a night.
Yep.
You guys are probably gonna be getting ready for bed, being on the East Coast, and I'm gonna go have some supper.
yeah. Getting your,
Hey, at least you get to see all the late games, right? We don't have, you don't have to wait up in, interminable hours here.
It's amazing. I mean, 1 o'clock start, say for the Jays or anybody, Yankees or anything. I'm watching it at 10 a.m., sometimes still in my pajamas.
Oh, you're on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm out in British Columbia, northern British Columbia.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah, I still have snow.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
not all melted yet.
Well, we had snow in Cleveland today, so not a lot, but it made the grass.
It was cold. It was cold. I was watching that game. It was cold in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you haven't been to Comerica Park, it's a nice park. My
I'm
wife
pretty
and
sure
I
every
were taking
fan
the
that
kids-
every fan that was there today got a foul ball.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That
close
bad.
to it. Yeah.
It was
The
pretty
first
sparse.
game,
Yeah.
the first game was, they said, the announcer, Tom Hamilton, on the radio, it was like, there was like nobody that first game because it wasn't supposed to be a double header, right? So if you had who has free time. So they said it was real slim.
Tom Hamilton's great announcer. I love listening to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
real
do.
good.
Yeah, he is. He's,
Yeah.
I'm still a Joe Tate who did a lot of basketball, but he did do the Indians back in the 70s. And Tom Hamilton's good, but it's based on, it's easier to do a winning team than a losing team, right?
Right.
Hamilton's been Indians / Guardians have been pretty successful since he got on in 94, 93. I think it was his first year. But.
Yeah, being an announcer for a team that is not going anywhere, and
Yeah.
it from day one,
Yeah.
that's got to be tough,
Yeah. Look at Herb Score. I mean, I know we're getting off on subject, but Herb Score, he had a lot of losing baseball, early 60s. Some horrible teams.
I've got Sirius radio in my car, and so I get all the baseball games when they're on, and I still like listening to Milwaukee when it's the home.
Bob Uecker.
Oh, Bob! I mean, he's got to be 1,000 years old, but and you can tell it in his voice that he's aged. But you know what? He's fun.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I enjoy him.
Always fun.
Yeah.
I agree there.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
All
All righty.
All right. Well, everybody have a good night. And
Have a good-
we've got another speaker. Check your email and dates. We've got another speaker coming in on May. What is it, Derek?
May 11th, I believe.
May 11th. So that's less than a month away, and this is a pretty good one, I guess. Oh yeah, it's FX Flynn.
FX Flynn, yep.
Our former treasurer for a million years at SABR. I think this is year 51. I think he was treasurer for 50 of them. I probably will introduce him that way. But talking about rotisserie baseball, he did some research and stuff early on.
He was
My
part, I think if I remember the story correctly from what he told me, he was integral in getting the folks that created that league in 1980 to get them to publish with Bantam books. I think he was working for Bantam at the time. And I hope I don't have my information wrong, but I think it had something to do along those lines, that he encouraged Bantam that there was enough to write a book about, that this is something that everybody was talking about, and let's get these guys in here and work out a deal.
Yeah, FX will always have a soft spot in my heart. When I went to San Diego, he came over to talk to me because I asked him a question about the financials, because I'm an accountant by trade, And, you know, he sat and he talked to me for a while, and I won't forget that. So, but of course, you know, as guys do, I'm going to have to tease him a little. So make the comment that he's been treasurer for 50 years. Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm going to sign this off, and we'll be talking. Go watch whatever you want, even if it is Cleveland.
All right. Have a good night, fellas.
All right.
Okay,
Good night,
night.
everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Yep.
All right.